And everybody who has never seen our chats before, or if you're watching this on YouTube and it's your first time, I put on an apron, even if we're not cooking, in the second half, just so that Casey knows, my daughter Casey knows where to split these up. So if you need to go back and watch the entire chat, it's 1 hour long, or it'll be about 1 hour long tonight. But if you just want to see the second half, you'll be able to find it on YouTube or here on Facebook. And remember, Facebook is only saving these for 90 days now, so you can only go back and watch these for 90 days. But you can find it because, the second half is when I put on my apron. Cooking or not, it's when I put on my apron. Okay, so let's get ready for the second half. Okay, while I'm sipping on my tea, did everybody have a good Easter last week? We had a fantastic weekend off. I did miss you guys, but we had a great Sunday off. So, let me sip a little more tea and y'all let me know how your Easter was last week. And hello, Barbara from Bonal, South Carolina. Nice of you to join us. Okay, so we've already talked about the fact that we've been on a camping trip all weekend, haven't brushed my hair, and no makeup, so y'all just have to move on from that. The extra credits, or our extra credit for tonight, is we're going to be talking about the colors of summer. So I did not intentionally get a little sun on my face to represent one of the colors of summer, but that's what we're going to be talking about. And good, Mary had a good Easter, and Catherine's was good as well. Good. So we're going to be talking about the colors of summer. With all this extra working out that I'm doing, I have been hyper-focused, and that's what the girls here, the 30-year-olds, well, the 18-year-old and the 31-year-old tomorrow, that's what they talk about. That's what they call when you're like intent on something, like when you're really focused on something, they say hyper-focused, and then there's something else they say all the time. So with all of this extra working out, I have been hyper-focused on putting that same energy into my food choices. I have planted a cold weather garden, which I've never done before. I've only planted hot weather gardens. My mother used to have actually like 3 seasons of gardening. Like if you could get outside, she would go outside and plant something. But I have planted a cold weather garden, and I've already started getting ready for my hot as Hades, because I live in Tennessee, garden. So I've already started getting ready for that. But here is how I picked the vegetables. So we got home today. Late this afternoon, I ran out to the garden. We got the girls unpacked, got them settled in, got them fed, gave them back to their mother. And then I ran around and checked the garden. So I have some things that, because it had rained so much in the last 3 days, they went from being this big to about this big just in those 3 days. But how did I pick which vegetables to plant, and how am I picking what's going in my grocery cart these days? So we don't have time to go over all of them, but I thought we would go over some of them because I think it is important. Some of these things are fairly important. We're all doing this because we want to lose weight. If we say that we are doing Weight Watchers because we don't want to lose weight, we're just fooling ourselves. We all want to lose weight, or wanted to lose weight, and we've lost our weight. But to be healthy, losing weight's great, but if you don't have health to go along with it, if you're not working on your health, then what? The losing the weight was great, but still, I want all of you all to be healthy. So how am I picking what's going in my garden? What went in my garden is already in there, and what's going in my grocery cart, these days. So step 1, I went back through all of my mom's notes. So she had, bless her heart, I like to take notes. Casey loves to take notes. My mom, she was like the queen note taker. Index cards, little steno books, the kind that have the spiral around the top and you flip them. I think they're called steno pads or something. Notes in books, little slips of paper in pages in books. I went back through a lot of that about which veggies and fruits she considered to be the most helpful on her journey. So she had been a Weight Watchers member for decades. But that most recent, all of the books that she most recently had before she passed away were all about her. They were about her journey to fight diabetes. Her dad was diabetic and she was diabetic, but she did so much better than he did. So her journey against diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, because she didn't want to take all the harsh medicines that some of her friends were taking who also had rheumatoid arthritis, and kidney liver failure that she had been diagnosed with. So I also broke out a couple of her books that have all the little bookmark notes in them, and one of them was called something about, it's like gardening on a budget or something like that. I bet there's 50. I'll have to bring you all a little slip of paper sometime, or like I have a recipe from her written on a paper plate. She literally wrote it, but it's all written out and it's on a paper plate. But this particular book, what is it called? It's like gardening on a budget, or no. What is it called? Something, I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, whatever. It's got all these little slips in it. So I went back through all of those, as many of those as I could find, and went back and looked at some of her notes. Okay, so that was step one. That was step number one. Step number next, which is number two. Then Alyssa and I go to the library almost every Monday, and she goes over into the kids section. I go over into the section with gardening books, with self-help books, with how to eat books, things like that. So I went to the library, and I also picked up a couple of magazines on which foods were considered the most nutritionally power-packed. And I will have to say, there is a doctor on the internet right now. I don't know his name. I should know his name, and Karen's probably going to fuss at me tomorrow because I can't think of his name. He's super famous, but he is really dissing on oats, oat milk, plant-based milk. What else is it he's fussing about? I don't know. He's fussing about some things that I think are superfoods. My mom thought were superfoods, and they helped to heal her. So yeah, I don't know what his name is, but I'll figure it out. But I'm gonna have to agree to disagree on some of his items. So I went to the library, went through her book, then I went to and just from knowledge of hanging around with her, and I went to the library, and I bought a couple of other magazines to try and figure out which foods to start with, which ones were the most nutritionally power-packed. And tonight we're going to look at just a few of them to get your superfoods juices juiced. Okay? Yeah. Play on words. There's a lot of puns tonight. So superfood juices juiced. We're going to get them juiced. Next pun is coming up. Rule of green thumb number one. Pun intended. Rule of green thumb number one. The more color, the better. So you want deep reds, purples, oranges. You don't want any of this blah humbug washed out looking fruits or vegetables. You can still eat those, but like iceberg lettuce is a perfect example. I like iceberg lettuce with a lot of dressing on it, but with some other things packed in there. But it is, the more leached out the color is, whether it was born that way or if that happened, over time, those are the ones you want less of, and you want more of the ones that have the bright, vibrant, rich colors, because those have all the antioxidants and all the good for you vitamins and minerals and things like that in it. Okay, rule of green thumb number two. Good, and I keep giving myself thumbs up. Grow it if you can. So if you have space, time, the desire. If you don't worry about it. If you don't have space for a garden, do not fret. If you don't want to garden, don't fret. If you can't grow anything, do not fret, okay? But if you can grow it, I do think it's a lot of fun. Sometimes it's a little stressful, but I do think it's a lot of fun. Or shop local, like maybe go to a farmer's market or one of the grocery stores here in town. They buy more of their produce comes from local farmers, like they come from maybe Dandridge or Granger County or something like that. So grow it if you can, or if you want to, if you're able. Shop local, go to a farmer's market, something like that. Visit a farmer's market. A lot of them, like down here, they're all in full swing now. So we've got our Saturday markets now at Market Square. Those are in full swing. The Thursday market at Harvest Center. It's over where Easttown used to be, and now it's the new Amazon Super Center or whatever. If you're in this area and that's a great place. Markets like Pratt's Market here in Knoxville. It's just down the street from our showroom. There is another market in Clinton that's got a lot of good things. There's a market over on Sutherland, so a local market like that's a great place to get some of these things. And if you can't do any of that, just buy organic where possible. So sometimes it's a little bit more money, but the quality is worth it. It's worth. This is one of those situations where the quality is worth it. It's not just something that came in brown paper instead of white paper and they called it organic, you know, or whatever. In this case, it's worth it to try and get that. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to, wait, I've got an example I need to get you. Hold on. One of my examples is still in the refrigerator. So, first thing, okay, I'm not good at growing carrots, but I've planted them again, but I bought some, or I bought these last week. Carrots are a superfood because beta carotene converts into, so all this orange is beta carotene, that converts into vitamin A, which can improve your night vision, and it protects your skin from sun damage. So for those of you who went to the pool at Little Arrow Campground this week, eating your carrots can help with that. But in case you didn't know this, baby carrots are, so there are some important things that you need to know about these vegetables and fruit before you venture out and start getting them or growing them. So baby carrots are actually mature carrots that are processed into a uniform size. So they take a full-size carrot and they process it down into that little bitty size that's known as a baby carrot. But not only is that a huge waste of resources, they're soaked in water. And if you notice that bag, see, like this bag has no water, well, just a little bit of water from the carrots themselves, but the baby carrots are soaked in water, and sometimes they're soaked in chlorine. Yeah, so I have started buying the girls carrot sticks, so opt out for carrot sticks when you can, because this is just carrots, okay? They're just carrots, they're already washed, they do not have any chlorine in them, ingredients, just carrots, okay? So, that's the deal on carrots. Second thing, red grapes. I did not plant red grapes, but red grapes have flavonoids and resveratols. I don't know how to say it. Resveratols, and that is a substance that is produced by plants as a defense against stress and pathogens. So stress is stress. Like for a plant, stress would be disease, it would be bugs, it would be weather, it would be things like that. Pathogens would be disease. So red grapes have flavonoids and these resveratols, I hope I'm saying that correctly, resveratols, which help to fight against stress and pathogens. Well, guess what it also does in your body? So the flavonoids and the resveratols are present in the skin of the grapes, so don't skin your grapes. It's present in the skin, and it has been found to combat inflammation, blood clotting, oxidation of bad cholesterol. White grapes, while delicious, were evolved from red grapes through genetic mutations that kind of turned off the grape's ability to make the anthocyanins, which have those antioxidant properties. So white grapes are delicious, but red or purple, like the darker grapes, those are preferred. Red wine is also preferred just because it has more of these antioxidant qualities. Again, the white grapes kind of, you know, I was saying earlier, pick things that have a lot of color, because the whiter the color, it's kind of stripped of all of its nutrients. Okay, peppers. So peppers with the most color are the highest in antioxidants, and green counts. So green, red, purple. I've seen some almost black pepper. So purple. Yeah, Curly, that's why they say red wine is better for you. Yes, you should all drink red wine. Just if you want to. But all these, even the green, the darker color peppers. So peppers with the most color are the highest in antioxidants. Red peppers are lower in beta carotene and alpha carotene than green peppers are. So green peppers are super high. Red peppers are a little bit less. It's not much less. But a red pepper has more vitamins and nutrients, including lutein, which is a potent cancer preventer, and a red pepper contains more vitamin C than 3 oranges. Who'da thunk? So red peppers all the way. Yeah, red peppers have 3 times as much vitamin C as an orange. Is that not crazy? Is that not crazy information? Okay, so what have I planted? What have I planted? I have planted spinach. Spinach is rich in vitamins A, C, K, minerals like iron, which I have to take an iron supplement every day, so spinach helps me with that. So iron, magnesium, manganese, calcium. and more, lots more, at 23 calories for 100 grams, which is not very much. This powerhouse has so many health benefits. I mean, spinach is like, whooshoo, like, yeah. So anyway, so I planted some spinach. It's only gonna last, the spinach is only gonna last probably through May, because by June it'll be so hot here that it'll just kill it. But you can always get spinach at the store. So spinach was one thing I planted. Arugula, I love this prolific garden veggie. When John and I lived downtown, I had a garden spot with one of our neighbors, and we had it was a raised bed, but it was downtown. It was near the railroad tracks. Wasn't the best of quality soil. Hello, Lisa. Wasn't the best of quality soil. We did as much as we could to it with as little control as we had over the situation. But we planted arugula 2 years ago, or for a couple of years, and we, even in that low quality soil, the arugula was so prolific that we had to harvest some every single day. We were eating arugula on salads. We were eating arugula. We were standing in the garden just eating arugula. We were making arugula pesto. We made arugula chimichurri. We were making arugula everything, and then begging people to take some of it. It was so prolific. So it went wild. It just went crazy, and we had to harvest it every single day. Arugula is an excellent source of vitamins K, C, and A, and the leaves also contain glucosinolates, and you'll just have to forgive me if I say any of these wrong. Glucosinolates, flavonoids, and carotenoids, which are super immune boosters and are thought to help fight cancer. So how fun is that you can eat a delicious, yummy, let's say arugula pesto, and help fight cancer. Okay, beets. I planted 2 colors of beets this year. Detroit red, which were actually, the seeds were actually packaged in 2017. These are the last seeds that my mom went and got from the co-op. So yeah, then they're coming up. They're doing great. So I planted Detroit red, and I planted golden beets. Beets are one of the few vegetables that are almost zero waste if you eat everything stem to stern. So beets, you can eat the leaves, and you can eat that entire bulb. You can eat the entire root, all of it. You don't really have to trim any of it off. Just rinse it all off really good. The roots contain folate, antioxidants, and fiber. The greens, so the leaf part of it, the greens contain almost 9 times your daily recommended value of vitamin K. 9 times just from eating the greens from that. Okay, next thing is a sip of my tea. Okay, the next thing is bok choy. I had never tried to grow bok choy before. My mom used to always grow it. Mine look like they're doing great. I can't wait until it's harvest time. So bok choy is amongst its long list of health benefits. My mom always planted various forms of this, so it comes in lots of different forms. It is like a Chinese cabbage. It is reported, so she always planted it, and she ate lots of it, A, because she was vegan, and B, because of its reported ability. So this is not, you're not going to look on any USDA thing or any FDA or anything like that, but it has a reported ability to inhibit the development of bladder cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer, liver cancer, lung cancer, and stomach cancers. It's delicious, so you know what? I'm willing to put my money on that and say that I'm gonna eat some bok choy to try and avoid all of that. Okay, next thing is broccoli rabe. Or rabe or rabe. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I love broccoli, but this is my first time trying to grow it, and I've heard that it's sometimes difficult. So I chose the broccoli rabe version because it's allegedly, so I buy all of mine from rareseeds.com. It's an heirloom seed company. Allegedly, they say that broccoli rabe is easier for first timers to grow, so it's supposed to be easier, and it is also a great veggie for strengthening bones, which, as long as I'm working on strengthening my muscles, let's go ahead and strengthen my bones too, and lowering the risk of heart disease. Next is eggplant. So I've tried eggplant before, and they never get any taller than this. at Pratt's Market, and I always talk about Pratt's, it's just down the street if you happen to be here in Knoxville. At Pratt's Market, they had plants, eggplant plants, but they are a special Japanese variety that are the white and purple. So I snatched those because they're the longer ones that are only about this big around, much better for slicing, chopping, sauteing, making ratatouille, you know, something like that. It's super low in calories, but it's high in fiber. The purple color that's in an eggplant comes from an antioxidant in its skin called anthocyanin, which may help lower the risks of cancer and heart disease. I'm all about it. All about it. To get to eat food. Yeah. Okay. Red peppers, of course. Already told you how great red peppers are. Of course, I planted those. Spaghetti squash. So spaghetti squash because, well, spaghetti squash, I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Of course, winter squashes are a great source of beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin. I know I butchered that one. It's zeaxanthin. Zeaxanthin. Then a soluble fiber in squash can help lower cholesterol. And you can toast the seeds. So I'd never thought about, I mean, we used to toast pumpkin seeds all the time, but any squash seeds, you can toast any winter squash seeds for a super boost of magnesium and omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I purchased, things that I did not, that I'm not growing. I'm not growing these in the garden. One is a real live pomegranate. So pomegranates are like in that top tier, I think because of the dark color. You know, we were talking about all these dark colors in the beginning. Pomegranates are probably the darkest red of the red of the red, unless it was like a Detroit red beet. I've never ever cut into just a pomegranate. I've always bought it already in the little cups with the little, what are the little things inside called that I'm gonna try to get out, not tonight because I understand it's really messy. So I will try to video this when I have a better opportunity to clean up a mess. Well, we're going to try cracking into one of these puppies. But pomegranates, because of how dark it is, what are those things called? What are the little things called that are inside of a pomegranate? I know what they're called. The little bitty tiny, the little seeds. But they're not called seeds. Anyway, super high in all of that. Everything that I just said, super high in all of that. I think because of that dark color. Pears, I had not really considered pears to be that great of a superfood. It just was a delicious fruit. But in one of the books that I was reading, actually it was in one of the magazines that I was reading about superfood foods, they were talking about not to overlook the qualities of pears. And they even said something about, they said like a pear, like a sliced pear on a peanut butter sandwich, and I thought, that sounds really good. So when I get my next batch of Fit Butter, because I ate all of my last one, when I get my next batch of Fit Butter, I'm gonna try that on it. And citrus fruits like lemons, I'm gonna get back to slicing the lemon and drinking it in my water, because superfruits with superfoods. Okay, so as you can tell, my voice is starting to wane, so I'm gonna wind it down, and we still have a little bit of unpacking to do from the camping. So I'm just interested, out of all the things that I've mentioned, or something of your own, something like blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, things with lots and lots and lots of color to them, what super powerhouse foods do you think are going to be on your menu for this summer? So I would love it if a couple of you all would just shout out just a few before we wind down, and while I take another sip of my tea. I have a feeling tomorrow is going to be a no voice day. Yeah, it's okay. Can anybody think of anything? Anybody can think of a superfood? I know the girls are going to say watermelon and strawberries. Oh, arrows. I don't know how to pronounce that, Carol. Okay, so Carol, I don't know, how would you feel about me FaceTiming you and videoing it one day so you could walk me through it? Would you be up for that? Because I would love to have a co-conspirator walk me through how to do that. I don't think anybody here, and I know none of my family members, are going to be able to show me how to do that. Yeah, Vicky's going to do red grapes instead of white. Absolutely. White grapes are delicious. but red are better. Mary says blueberry, blackberry, and cantaloupe. All good colors. Fantastic. Kim says berries, watermelon, and carrots. Perfect. But Kim, it's going to be carrots, and not baby carrots, right? And that's like, I'm so freaked out about that. And I know I knew that, but you know, sometimes you just have to remind yourself. Yeah, it just so freaks me out about the baby carrots. Not ever buying those again. Okay, let's let one more person chime in, and then I will sign off for the week. And I promise next week, I'll even wash my hair next week. How about that? I won't just brush it. Yeah, Rosie says berries are her favorite. I love, and watermelon. I could eat my weight in watermelon. I love it so much. Okay, so you all have a great week. Thanks for letting us skip last week for Easter. And we had a great time camping. If you all need any recommendations on where to go camping or eating in Townsend, Tennessee, let me know. But y'all having a fantastic week. I will see you next time. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and let that next video roll over. I promise you will enjoy it. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button and go ahead and click that bell so that you'll be notified the next time we have a video post, which should be here in just a couple of days. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.